The Chicago Bears have a potential superstar level player in Justin Fields. I know it's taboo to come out and say this on any platform, but you know what? I believe in the kid. I believe the Bears have an opportunity to move in the right direction with a quarterback player. But the question on the table is, how do they get this done to the fullest? How do they not waste Justin Fields? Let's talk about it, starting now. Now, if you are new to the channel, please like the video. Please subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. It's the only channel talking Chicago sports, how Chicago talk. So make sure that you get in tune with us, man. And if you haven't done so, whether you're new or not, I need you to do me a favor. Just go ahead and
push the button. Come on. Push the button. Come on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push the button.
You heard Carter and Soon Lee. Push the button, man. So here's the thing, right? I was looking at the Packers tape from yesterday, Bears versus Packers, and there are two things to me that have become very apparent about the Chicago Bears team this year. One, first things first, I will give the national media their credit. I've bashed them a lot this season. Guess what? We're probably going to be a 3-win football team. Okay, all right, you got it. You got it. If we get 4 wins, I swear I'm backing off of that. But I am willing to pivot and say I was wrong. Maybe I saw some potential there that wasn't in this team. I just didn't like the fact that y'all were destroying us before we'd ever played a snap. But here's the thing. When I look at Justin Fields on the field, when I look at how Justin is playing on the field, I am immediately drawn to making similar distinctions to quarterbacks that we've seen in this position before. To me, Justin Fields is not only a very similar player, but in a very similar position to a guy like Josh Allen. I look at how Josh Allen's career changed. Josh Allen was a quarterback that was known to make erratic decisions. Josh Allen was a quarterback known to throw the football and put the ball in the other team's hand. He was also known as a really good runner. Now, nowhere near the runner that Justin Fields is, right? But he was known as somebody that absolutely could take off and had wheels and would go through you and all of that. And the arm, big arm talent, able to get the ball downfield. Few accuracy issues, right? But what changed in that situation? Where did the change come in? And that, to me, is the first and most important part of this entire thing. Because we've seen this season that Justin Fields has an ability to read defenses. Has the ability, right? We've seen him go through his reads and do a lot of different things. But what he doesn't have the ability to do is actually take the time to go through and make the right plays, which leads to rush decisions, which leads to putting the ball in spots that the ball might not need to be in, which leads to turnovers, interceptions, different things like that, right? We saw that in that Packers game. To me, there were a couple of times where I feel like Justin Fields tried to make the right decision, and experience took in the Jair Alexander situation for me, right? Like, to me, Jair's jumping that route. He never breaks out of his back pedal. He's going back the entire time. He's waiting on Justin to throw that ball to EQ. EQ does not come out of his route quick enough at all. And you know what? He's a long stride wide receiver. He's not a very top 2 wide receiver, right? But for us, he's our top wide receiver. There's a lot of information that Justin has to take in there that maybe he hasn't had the opportunity to this season. I can't remember another play where a player's kind of just sat on that, knowing that Jair's going to sit on Justin and wait for him to throw this pass off of the break there, waiting for EQ to come out of his break there and jumps that route, right? So in that situation, Justin Fields now has that knowledge. On the other side of that, though, right, the second pick to me is Justin Fields trying to rush to make a decision that's going to be a decision that's going to put the Bears in a good position to go out there and win this game. But again, another rushed decision. And for me, the biggest thing that changed with Josh Allen was very similar. Josh Allen showed you the ability to do a lot of things, very different kind of player, up and down, able to, okay, hey, sometimes he's able to dot you up and down the field, sometimes he's not. But the protection and the people catching the football were very different from one year to the next with Josh Allen. So I think the first thing you have to do, and I'm looking at Ryan Poles on this, right? Ryan Poles has to build a team, and hear me out on this, a team that is going to put Justin Fields in the right position, not just an offense that is going to put Justin Fields in the right position. The one thing that I will give Ryan Poles that he did to help Mitch in year one was he built the Ryan Pace that he did do to help Mitch in year one was he built a defense that was going to put Mitchell Trubisky in excellent field position every single game. We see that very similar kind of defense up in Buffalo, don't we? So you can't neglect the defensive side of the football as well. I know there's a lot of people that say, just go get him a wide receiver and an offensive line. Yeah, I don't want Justin to have to drive 99 yards every time he's got to make a play, or he's starting at the 25 every time he's got to make a play, right? The defense goes into this, and it makes the quarterback's life easier. If you have a team that is built around this guy, if you have an entire, right, your defense is able to come in and get big stops, big sacks. Now, all of a sudden, you don't have to work as hard to outscore the other team. Now you're able to pin your ears back and just go to work. We've been in a lot of close games this year. We've been in a lot of dog fights this year. And you know what? The thing is right now with the experience that Justin has and with the offense that he's standing behind, the offensive line, the receivers that he has, he's not able to overcome all of that. But I still think that that superstar potential is in there. And for me, right, the thing that you see with Justin Fields that can unlock that superstar potential on his own part, right? Like he has to take some culpability of this himself. He's thrown some bad passes here. There's some plays that we've looked at this season. We've said you cannot make that pass, right? And guess what? He went out and made that pass. Here's the thing for me with Justin Fields that I think takes you to that next level. Takes you to, and I want to know from you guys as well. Drop in the comments below. What do you think Justin Fields has to do to unlock that superstar potential? Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to use one of the most deadly weapons in the NFL that you have, that everybody else doesn't have, outside of maybe Lamar Jackson, because of what the media is going to say. Mike Vick was talking on Club Shay Shay, right? Shannon Sharp's podcast. Listened to it yesterday. Thought it was great. Mike Vick had a moment where he said he wanted to prove that he didn't have to use his legs. He wanted to prove in Atlanta that he didn't have to be a running quarterback. He wanted to prove in Atlanta that he could go out there and throw the ball just as well as Tom Brady, just as well as Donovan McNabb. And he had a game where he had the opportunity to do that. I think he said he had an issue with his MCL, I believe, and so he wasn't going to be running that much. Stayed in the pocket, delivered the ball, threw for like 354 yards, 4 touchdowns, something like that. Crazy, right? But he also said that the realization that his legs were such a dangerous weapon that he could always fall back on. That's what I see in Justin Fields, right? And I think we've seen at times, right, Justin Fields maybe trying to press the issue on becoming that amazing passing quarterback that everybody's looking for him to be. It's okay right now if you're not that, right? Because you don't have the team that's going to brood success from you throwing the football as much. We've seen Justin Fields, right? I saw the stat get put out about Justin Fields in the clutch, about how he's got a turnover here, he's got a turnover here, turnover on downs, interception, a lot of different things, right? But when you actually look at those plays, when you actually look at what Justin Fields was trying to do, you see that there's a lot of times where, yeah, his team also is not helping him out, or there's a missed pass interference call, right? A lot of different things that go into that conversation. But for me, right, like Justin Fields seems like he's trying to prove at times that, yeah, I am a passing quarterback. I can throw this football. I came into the NFL as a passing quarterback. You're not going to box me in. And you know what? Maybe you don't have the team to do that this year. Next year, let's do it. Let's hope that Ryan Poles puts a team in front of you that will allow you to do that. But for me, right, like I'm going into this offseason, I'm going into next season looking at Justin Fields and saying, even if they give you all of that, understand that that ability is a special ability that not everybody in this NFL has, to to have the ability to do it the way you do, as fast as you do, as strong as you run, you need to continue to use that. And that is okay. We need to break this stigma that running quarterbacks are not going to last in the NFL. Guess what? Josh Allen is a running quarterback. Yeah, he throws the ball really well because he has time to stand back there, assess the defense, has some nice receivers to go through. But Josh Allen runs the football quite a bit. It is okay in the modern NFL to run the football. So don't give up on that thing that makes you extra special. That is the piece right there, right? Justin Fields could come out next year and he could be an excellent passer. He could be dotting people up. But the thing that makes him superstar potential, a superstar possible level player, is the fact that no matter what, even if you cover everybody on that field and you have him covered perfectly, he absolutely can destroy you with his legs. Hey, hit that like button, subscribe to the page, man, if you have not done so. We're going to keep this thing moving because I got a couple of more things, right, that I want to point out that will turn Justin Fields into a superstar potential quarterback. If you haven't done so, go ahead and
Push the button. Come on. Push the button. Come on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push your button.
hit that like button, subscribe to the page, man. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. So here's the other thing for me, right? When I'm looking at Justin Fields' ability to unlock this superstar potential, it's not just on Justin. It's not just on, right, the other players that are on the field, right? Listen, it's at the higher ups. I talked about Ryan Poles having to go out and build a complete team. You have to find a defense that's going to put Justin in some good positions at times for him to just turn around and use that athleticism. You have to find you have to find receivers that at the end of the day, if Justin Fields is delivering the quarterback on a dime, they're able to bring that ball in. You've got to go out and find that next level guy. Hey, guess what? You've got to go out there and find an offensive line that's going to stand in front of him and allow him to use his mind, his ability to read defenses, his hopefully even more improved ability next season to read defenses, his more improved ability next season to understand when to take off and when not, and to have the option to do so. Again, he has the ability to do a lot of things, but a lot of times Justin doesn't have the option. But here's the other thing for me. For me, when I'm looking at this Bears team, there's a lot of, and in the mind of Bears fans, and I feel like right in the mind of a lot of people in that building, there's a lot of people that are looking at what Ryan Poles is doing, what Matt Eberflus is doing as this is the team, this is the end, this is your shot. And I'm looking at Flus, I'm looking at Poles, and I'm saying, here's the thing. At the end of the day, sometimes there are players, or sometimes there are coaches, sometimes there are people in positions that get you to a certain point. And at every single level on this team, you have to be able to pivot. You have to be able to say, hey, listen, we like what you do, but we don't love what you do because you're not getting us to that next point. So for me, right, the one person I'm looking at right now, I look at that game on Sunday. Luke Getsy had one of his worst games of the year. And I feel like recently on the second half of the season, we've said he's had one of his worst play calling games of the year quite a bit. The big thing for me with that is the fact that we continue to talk about Luke Getsy in that manner of, hey, in the second half of this season, you have not done your job well. In the second half of this season, you have not put Justin Fields in good positions to succeed. In the second half of this season, you have, and especially right in second quarters in the second half of this season, Justin Fields has not been put in good positions to go out there and be the quarterback that we thought he was going to be. Okay. If we get to a point where Luke Getsy does indeed continue to take us down that path, right? If indeed we get to a point this season where Luke Getsy is not the answer at the quarterback or at the OC position, right? We need to be willing to make the move to pivot. One of the things that also benefited Josh Allen in this offense, right, was the fact that Josh Allen also had a head coach, had a coaching change. Josh Allen also had coaches that were willing to move off of different things. They were also willing to not implement different things. They were also willing to not put you in bad position, right? Like there was so many things that went into Josh Allen becoming the player that he is right now. And I think Justin Fields, again, in a very similar position, right? I even look at Ryan Poles at the top. Listen, I think Flus is going to be a heck of a coach in this NFL. Is he the coach for you to have success with this quarterback? That might not be the case 2, 3, 4 years down the road. We have to be willing to pivot at every level on this team, and that it goes down, straight down to the personnel. Listen, I look at guys this season that I like. I don't love them, and the problem is they're at positions where I have to love these guys, because if I don't love these guys, Justin Fields ends up on his back. I like Braxton Jones right now. I think Braxton Jones has done some really good things. That should not stop you from going out and finding a better left tackle next season if you have that opportunity. I like Tevin Jenkins. I think Tevin Jenkins has shown that he's a mauler at that position. That should not stop you from going out there and finding the next best player at that position, because I again, like, not love, right? And maybe they haven't had the ability to show all that they can do. Braxton Jones, of course, a rookie. He's not going to be able to just come in and say, I can kill this game no matter what, and shouldn't have to, right? He should be allowed to develop. But at the point where you're at with your quarterback, you realize two things to me right now. One, this kid is at a minimum a very above average player if you put him in a really good position to be. At a minimum, a very above average player. Good, not great, if you will. If you change a couple of things about his situation this year, we could be talking about him in a completely different light. Take that into next season and understand that there's a lot of like, not love on this team. I like Darnell Mooney. I like David Montgomery. I like Chase Claypool. But if you find better, it is absolutely okay to go in a completely different direction and go with better, because you're in a position now where you have to help Justin Fields out, and that's on both sides of the ball. I know, again, talking about polls, people are thinking that's just offensive. It's not just offensive. It's not just offensive. Josh Allen not only has one of the best offenses in the NFL, with the best offensive line in the NFL, with one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, but he's also got one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. He's also got some of the best DBs in the NFL. He's also got one of the best linebacking crews in the NFL. You have to go out and you have to build a complete team, and you have to continue to add to that complete team. Ryan Poles has a big job on his shoulders in the development of Justin Fields becoming that superstar potential player. Justin has to do some work. Flus has to do a ton of work. Getsy's definitely got to do some work. And Ryan Poles has the biggest job of all. But at the end of the day, if you're to the point where you've watched Justin Fields week in and week out, and I get it, right? If you're on a different team, if you're a fan of a different team, if you're a fan of the Packers and you want to bash it, I get that, right? That's more rivalry. That's more, hey, your players suck, my players suck. Listen, I say Aaron Rodgers sucks. I know he doesn't suck, right? Like, he held the salute a little long. He held the salute a little long, especially with that haircut. But I know Aaron Rodgers doesn't suck, right? But for me, the biggest thing that the Bears have moving forward, but for me, the biggest thing that tells you what Justin Fields is, no matter who you are, no matter if you're a fan, not a fan, this and that, and I implore people to actually go back and watch how he's passing the football, how he's putting the ball in these guys' hands. And I know a lot of national people won't. But if you really want to know about what kind of player Justin Fields is, look at how he deals with the pressure that comes his way for most of the game. He's not to the point where he can deal with it for the full 48 minutes. 48 minutes? 60 minutes. I went basketball on that. He's not there yet, right? Like in the fourth quarter, a lot of pressure on him. Sometimes he doesn't put the ball in a good – most times this season, he hasn't put the team in a great position on that last drive to go down there and try and win it. But you know what? Defense also hasn't helped him out either. In the Detroit game, Justin Fields put us up by a touchdown, and then we missed the field goal, and the defense couldn't get a stop on Jared Goff, right? Like, so there's a lot of different things to me that play into Justin Fields becoming the quarterback that we think that he can be. But I implore y'all, go back and actually watch what Justin has done this season. And it's not just Bears fans sitting here and being excited about another mediocre quarterback. No, this kid is special. This kid's going to be special in the league. This kid has an opportunity to win MVPs. This kid has an opportunity to go out there and be better than Lamar Jackson. He has an opportunity to go out there and be better than Pat Mahomes. He has that opportunity, but you got to build that team around. As always, man, it's your boy Pat, the designer, back at it again. I appreciate you guys for tuning in and rocking with us. I want to know how you guys feel in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you as well. Do you think Justin Fields has superstar potential? Do you think that I'm just blowing smoke up your skirts? How do you feel about it? Let me know. I'll be down there talking with you as well. As always, man, it's your boy Pat, the designer, back at it again. To continue watching our Chicago Bears content, click the links on the screen. Check the links in the description below. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Peace.